When we started looking, right, we were looking like for areas that had like heavily car like areas, right? So it's like paint shops or people that did the same work, but they still made it difficult for us because it's sad to say this, but that's what
Wait, what are you trying to say?
You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, what are you trying to say?
Because of who we are, what we are.
Oh, okay. Last time we started a whole episode without even saying our names, right? So I figured maybe we do that first.
Yes.
This time.
I'm Lynn, I'm Lot 3.
I'm Nick, Lot 3.
And I'm Ozzie, Lot 3. We're Cars Finder People.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Oh yeah. Wait, hold on. Let me get right.
Some of the feedback we got from our last episode was that we were talking about AMU and we're talking about Lot 3 overall, but we didn't really give a lot of context as to.
So what does AMU mean?
Well, automobile uploads.
And then
it's
why is
also
it that?
automobile uploads, and it's mobile uploads because, like I mentioned in the last episode, I figured that social media back in the day, where you would typically do social media on your computer, the transition was happening on your phone, and it was like, oh, cool, I could take pictures of cars and upload it directly to the internet from my phone. So automobile upload. If you didn't know, now you know.
Feels like a lifetime away, but it was only 10 years ago.
Yeah, exactly, right. So 10 years ago, so we were doing, car photography and events and things like that, right? And it turned from a car media company, if you will, and we were talking about like, how do we transition this to do something that's like pretty meaningful for the enthusiast community?
Yeah, right.
And then we talked about automotive sales and services in the realm of sales and retail and things like that. So we explored at the time maybe some options to go ahead and get a space and things like that. And that's when we found out how hard it was, because city planning, and if anybody from a city planning division is watching this, you guys have a lot of power. And when I say that is we found out some loopholes.
Yes, we did.
Right? On how you can get like a place that's zoned for automotive sales and things like that, right? And just because you find a place that qualifies for automotive sales doesn't mean you can actually go and set up shop there, because you actually have to get everything stamped and approved by city planning.
Right.
So, Mr. City Planning, that at the final stages of us trying to get a place from AMU, okay, trying to get our own place, said, oh, you guys have to get another parking spot. And we said, oh, we didn't need to have another parking spot. Oh, well, because here, and X, Y, and Z, and then you guys cannot get the spot. This was several locations later, and then we find out that at the time, this was pre-COVID, they were trying to do a sweep and clean up the city or cities, and used car dealerships were something that they were trying to clean up overall, right? So, in that being said, they were trying to limit dealer activities in various cities and things like that, and they were trying to court other businesses at the time. So, I think, now, did I miss anything? I don't know.
No, I mean, that was spot on.
And I wasn't involved with that part. It was the two of them, but I saw from the outside looking in the progress that was made. And then you don't find out the bad news till the end. It's never on the front end, it's on the back end.
Yeah. I mean, and when we started looking, right, we were looking like for areas that had like heavily car like areas, right? So it's like paint shops or people that did the same work, but they still made it difficult for us because it's sad to say this, but that's what
Wait, what are you trying to say?
You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, what are you trying to say?
Because of who we are, what we are.
Oh, okay. We got profiled a lot. We were talking about what we were trying to do, and because we did AMU, a car media company, and all that stuff, they saw the type of cars that we dealt with. We saw the fact that he had a race car at the time. They saw that we were doing a lot of sports car and race car activity and things like that. And the questions that we got when we were trying to lease spaces were, are you guys going to race up and down the street? There's a long, straight street here. You guys going to, bring that race car here? You guys going to have races? And we're like, no, we're not going to race cars on the street.
They was like, oh, how did you afford this?
Oh, yeah.
I worked
it's
for
like,
it.
Oh yeah, that part. Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, you guys have like, you know, money in the bank, and you know, they saw my Jeep at the time. They're like, oh, well, that's nice. Oh, you're doing well for yourself, right?
Yeah.
And it's comments that other people probably wouldn't get when you're doing like an official transaction. Trying to
and
lease
you
a
remember,
spot.
they didn't even know that that spot was zoned for auto.
No, they didn't.
Even the people in the actual area
Correct.
didn't know that that place was
Right.
zoned for auto.
Right.
And then once they found out, then other people that was in the same lot started going after what we were going for, and pretty much kind of, they said that they pushed us out
Yeah.
of that opportunity. So
And long story short, what they really want you to do is get into a location that's not exactly zoned for automotive, but it's a large property like your typical dealership is, and you get what's called a conditional use permit, or a CUP, and just to apply for that is like 15 grand. Okay, and that doesn't mean that you're going to be approved,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where we're like, well, we're not going to go put 15 grand up on a big space that we can't really even afford and whatnot, right? And it's kind of one of those things where you have to take a step back, and you're like, is what we're going for, like, is it worth it right now? Do we wait a bit and things like that?
Right.
Can we go back and talk about Dave's spot? Because that's like a sore
Yeah.
spot for me.
I know.
So we found a spot that was really, really nice, and the owner of the actual property actually took time to like reconstruct the whole spot to something that we wanted, and he owned it. Like, this is not like through a company or anything like that. So
Right.
they went, we did the zoning thing. They went to the actual city. They had like city planning had like a meeting or whatever, and pretty much like 2 or 3 days before we signed the lease or something like that, they denied that we can have it. And
Right.
and we were getting this spot for the low.
It was
you know?
dirt cheap. It was 70 cents a square foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The days are long
And
gone.
if I was gonna say, and if you know, 70 cents a square foot does not exist anymore. And at the time, the other spot that we got denied for was $1.30.
Yeah.
By
What was
comparison,
was that in Signal Hill or Lakewood?
Yeah, Signal
Signal
Hill.
Hill.
Signal
And it's in a nice area. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
The build out was crazy. I saw photos.
yeah.
So yeah, they literally putting in a loft because we said that, oh yeah, it would be dope. We can have a loft
Loft
here.
at
We
the
want to
top,
park the race
yeah.
car here. We want to do this, and he was just like, cool. If that's what you guys want, then I'm
and then,
you know.
Hey, and then guess what? What did he say? He said, for my first vehicle, what I want you guys to get. You remember?
No, I don't. What do you say?
So he said, when you guys get this place, my first vehicle I want you guys to get for me is an Astro van.
Oh, you're right. He did. He's
Right.
And he
Each their own, right?
he said, I want to drive this Astro van in the Cayman Islands because I have my boat out there and I live on my boat in the Cayman Islands.
Yeah, right. Wow.
You remember that?
Wow, I remember that
Yeah.
now. I didn't
Was
remember
the
that
Astro
before
van
you
going
said
to tow the boat?
I don't know what he gonna do with that Astro van, but he was like, find me an Astro van. I'm like, I don't know, we're gonna find an Astro van, but I'm trying.
So
But,
yeah,
yeah.
in a nutshell, though, we had a parking lot, that idea, back in the day. So it was, yeah, like I said, almost 10 years ago. Fast forward to the pandemic, then we talked about another brand, and we were saying, you know what? Maybe we could still have a common place for cars and service the enthusiast community without having to have a dealer license specifically. Right? So instead of the complexities of looking for a spot that qualifies for a dealer license and all
Right.
that stuff, what if we could do some of the marketing components of it? And then this is where we can, inject a lot of the coffee aspects of it, do cars and coffee and all that. And this is like during the time, I mean, a lot of you guys probably got into coffee a little bit more in the pandemic. Because you had a lot of time to figure out how to do things, right?
Had a lot of hobbies.
So the other thing though is obviously having an idea like that in the pandemic is challenging because there was a lot of restrictions on getting community together, right? And if our idea was community based, it's like, all right, well, maybe this is one that we have the parking lot as well.
Right.
Now, I guess fast forward to today or last year, rather. The three of us have already been friends, right? So we're all car enthusiasts and friends. And just fast forward to Nick,
Yeah.
bringing up an interesting topic at one point in time, would you say?
Yeah. So I've known Ozzie for 10 plus years, known Lynn through for a while now too, and just been friends over the years. And kind of what took shape was I know that they were, heavy in the car scene, and the goal was to, set up a car business, right? And not just to make money, but to just bring folks together with like minds and, you know, have a safe space for us to just cultivate car culture to its peak, max, whatever you want to call it. So Ozzie turned 40 last year.
Yeah.
He and I had several conversations over the years about, you know, car businesses, car ideas, things of that nature. And what were you? Was it DTLA Row?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We went to a road TTLA.
Yeah. So we, after his birthday, went there. The following day, had lunch, and we're just cruising up and down, and just got inspired. You know, he's a creative guy. You know, I've got somewhat of a business savvy and like to do things and take risks. So we had that conversation, and I got in the car with my wife and drove home, and I was like, hey, I think I'm gonna talk to Ozzie about putting something together, you know, running it back. So rewinding a little bit, so it was 2024 in December. I have a business, needed to buy a car for tax write-off. Went to go buy this van, and it was a van that I found. And I'm talking to this guy, and he's like, okay, meet me in next to John Wayne Airport in Orange County. So I go, get there, see the van. I'm like, okay, great. But I'm a little confused because there's no lot, right? And he's got this car parked, saw the car, it was his, all that. And he goes, we'll do paperwork at my office. His office was his house. But because of COVID, the DMV lifted some of the requirements for a brick and mortar or a lot, and posted signage to have, you know, a dealership up and running. And so he kind of like settled into this sweet spot. It's no longer that way, but he settled into this sweet spot. And years ago, I had a wholesale operation going where I was buying cars and selling to dealers, but never got to the retail space because of the whole, you know, you have to have an overhead, you've got to have the lot, you got to have the building and everything else. What I saw that day stuck with me. I bought the car that I wanted, it was fine, but I was like, how do you pull that off, you know? And so, you know, fast forward back to the day after Ozzie's birthday party, I had brought that up. You were interested, and you were like, that's interesting. You know, an idea turned into somewhat of a reality here. We're here now. So we found a lot that was conducive to meeting all the checklist criteria, things that the DMV requires, but we're not trying to be CarMax. We're not trying to be any of that.
Absolutely. Right.
Our goal is to have small inventory, selected inventory, you know, be able to sell cars and do other things like this, merch, several other things is what we're after. And so I went and kind of got in my rabbit hole of, you know, let's figure this thing out online, found Dealer 101, and what I thought was not possible was actually possible. You know, we scratched and clawed, all three of us, to kind of figure it out. Now we have a small little office, humble office.
Yeah. Humble.
Very humble office.
Humble is hilarious.
In the city of Orange.
Funny thing though is, prior to the humble office, we had our sights on another location, and we were like, we can make this happen. I think so. And it is still available, isn't it?
It's still available.
Okay, and it might still be available for us at some other point in time. But we were like, you know what? This is pretty perfect. We have car storage here. We can have coffee in there. We can have our psych wall for photography here. We can have an events in here. We are at a courtyard.
Hey, if it's meant to be, it will be.
Okay, all right.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Hey,
Okay.
cheers to that, man.
Yeah.
Hey, and it's still sitting there waiting for us as of today. But we checked it out. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That was an important part of the story.
However, it was 10 times our rent now. So, so I will say, this is still the smarter move. Okay, what was meant to happen will happen.
That's right.
In due time.
But and this is kind of a note too for anybody looking to do the same thing. You have to make sure that your overhead is in a spot where you can get ramped up. Because even us right now, like, we sat on the Z4 way longer than we probably would have normally, right? You know, so like when you're getting things up and established and whatnot, there's a lot of things that you're learning and all that.
Right.
And you got to be able to float your rent while you're not making money, right?
That's right.
So I'm assuming, you know, people pretty much they figure out where you go wrong is overcommitting. Taking that long time to ramp up and get things started, and then you're like, man, I'm in a hole right now. So we all figured out, like, between the three of us, like, we want to be able to float the whole operation and then be able to help, like, build it and then scale pretty naturally.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
And then when we get to that next level, we can then upgrade the spot. And then we can do this and this and this. And then we have a plan for that. And I think that comes with wisdom as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. What does lot 3 mean, though?
I mean, overall, I would say like the original vision was being able to utilize the fact that we're car enthusiasts, right? So we're not just in it like, oh yeah, we like cars and we want to make money. Like, we're a part of the community, right? When we talked about Lynn being the OG influencer before an influencer was an influencer, and then like being one of the first people to carry a DSLR to events and actually take pictures and be able to upload them and do all that stuff, right? Like, we've been invested into this and been a part of it and supporting the growth of the car community for a while.
Yeah.
So we're like, well, the evolution of that is continuing to support the community with events and being able to service the community, like with selling cars, enthusiast cars specifically, helping connect buyers and sellers, helping to, if you have a car for sale and you're not doing a great job with marketing overall, we might be able to step in and help support that.
Yep.
Eventually, when we get the bigger spot, we might be able to have the common place for somebody to, like a buyer and seller, to meet up and they be able to transact in a common place and be able to support with the paperwork you need and advice and things like that, right? We had a vision to like really just create a brand around like the support of car enthusiasts in that community, you know? Pair that with coffee, pair that with car storage, pair that with a cool enthusiast-based events and things like that, right? And the apparel, the content that we're making now, just being able to just do cool things and just really be like, we're car enthusiasts and we want to both support the community and just really have fun in what we're doing too,
Yep.
And yeah, I think you nailed it on the head. I think we're here now. It was a lot of like hoops to jump through, and but we found the sweet spot, right? Manageable overhead, realistic expectations. We wrote up a business plan together.
Yep.
And we're not even slowly but surely, but we're surely just checking these things off one by one. Just sold our first car.
Hey.
Did pretty well.
Hey, that part.
And did pretty well. That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's like proof of concept, right? There's a lot coming down the pipeline, and can't wait.
And I got to say one thing. So what does the 3 mean?
Oh, the 3. Well, first of all, a lot. Okay, if somebody's like, oh, what is a lot? Like a car lot. It's not something that's crazy to think about, but it's 2, it's like a double entendre, but it's a lot like a car lot. And then a lot also like on auctions, there'll be a lot 3 something or another, right?
And that's why the first car, the Z4, what was the number of the Z4?
Oh, it's lot 301.
Okay.
Yeah.
We just want y'all to know.
Okay.
I kind of want them to know what, you know what I mean?
But also 3 is because I'm the 3rd and he's the 3rd. So just being corny.
And then so before I got all up in the situation,
right?
So so then they bumped it out to me. They said, "All right, well, we can make a triangle then. You're the 3rd corner of the triangle, and I'm in there now."
Exactly. And it's three of us.
Now it's 3 of us. So that's what the 3 is now. It's no longer the suffix on the name.
The suffix. If I wasn't here, it would have been there. But I'm here now.
That's right.
Now we're 3.
Lot 3. So a cool little, backstory and whatnot. I feel like the next episode, we probably should talk about the Z4M, how we got that, how we sold it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
and then what's next, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it looks like you're going to have to stay tuned.
Yep.
So for now, like, subscribe, and catch you next time.
Be nice in the comments too. Shout us out. Don't be grimy. Don't be spiteful. Be nice.
Every time. Be nice.
Be nice. Peace.